It was an easy quarter-mile hike from the parking lot to the overlook. There are 3 areas in this park. This one is the largest with the most unusual formations. There are paths to the other 2 sections as well as additional parking at the trailhead or the north lot, which has pit toilets. The park reminded me a little of the Badlands. We were there in May, so there were still a lot of wildflowers blooming. The path down was steep and not maintained, but when you get to the bottom, the path was flat and easy to follow. The white rocks were very hard, textured, and porous. It reminded me of coral. You could really get scraped up if you fell against them. The colored sands really popped against the white rock. This conglomerate boulder seemed out of place, as there was no apparent place from which it might have come. I'd have to say that the rocks birthed from the selenite deposits, creating flows of stone, were my favorite part. Even the sky seemed to ripple and flow. It wasn't until I was walking within the mines that the tremendous beauty and uniqueness of this park was realized. The park features fantastic geological formations, including spires and hoodoos that have formed through erosion, creating incised gullies and exposed layers of selenite clay and jasper. Selenite, or gypsum, contributes to the color, and white quartzite dazzles the eyes in the bright sun. So how did this park get its unusual name? Throughout the history of the paint mines, people have visited this area to gather the colorful clays tinged with red, orange, yellow, purple, and gray, and use them to produce colored ceramics. The earliest people believed to have mined the clay here was about 7,000 BC and are commonly known as Paleo-Indians, using petrified hardwoods for stone tools. Most recently, the colorful clay was mined to make bricks for the buildings in Colorado Springs. This park is listed as an archaeological district in the National Register of Historic Places. Exploring here was fun, as all the paths were dead ends, causing you to return to the center main path. Plan to spend an hour and a half and walk about 4 miles. While the surface of the paint mine was quite dry and hard, these deer prints in the middle of the path indicate the ground can get quite soft. There are warnings not to enter the narrow crevices when rain is expected. These natural geologic outcrops occur in the Dawson Formation when the region was warmer and wetter. The view was spectacular from the overlook, but the real beauty was walking among the hoodoos and touching the landscape along the path below. It had rained here the day before, really making the colors pop. The boulders here seemed impossibly large as they balanced on thin columns of clay, looking as if they would tumble down with the next gust of wind. This was at the back of the largest area. It reminded me of some fantasy world where fairies and gnomes would play. As I got ready to head back to the truck, I stopped at the bottom and the top of the hill and took one last look around, taking in this extraordinary park and the plain beyond. The beauty of being able to see this almost endless horizon took my breath away, and I felt so grateful to be able to see and experience this beautiful open space.